Thanks for listening to Get in the Hole, your number one stop for all things in the world of golf. Watch and subscribe anywhere you get your favorite shows on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Google, and more. Just search Get in the Hole. Get in the Hole is the official golf pod of the Underground Sports Philadelphia family of podcasts. Now let's get right into the action. Here's your hosts, Steve McAvoy and Ben Pirro.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
I saw the Mario movie on Tuesday.
Non-spoiler review. How was it?
For a kids movie, it was good. I was looking for more adult jokes that would have like flown over the average 7-year-old's head, but I would have caught it. And like, I didn't really get that. Toad made a couple of good ones, so Keegan-Michael Key did a pretty good job. I will say this: they definitely did like post work after the teaser trailers and stuff came out, because you could not really tell it was Chris Pratt. It like they definitely like mixed audio a little bit, because like I'm listening to it and I'm like, that's not really Chris Pratt, or that isn't really Charlie Day, or even like Jack Black. I was like, outside of when he sang his TikTok trendy Peaches, didn't really sound like Jack Black either.
See, Jack Black said who he once cast as Wario in the sequel.
Oh,
Pedro Pascal.
You mean Waluigi?
No,
Wario.
Wario.
Yeah, but Pedro Pascal is, I don't know. I
feel like you voice for it. Plus, have you seen the SNL skit that he was part of with Mario in an HBO setting?
Yes.
It makes me feel big.
That was a really, really, really good show.
That was one of the best SNL skits of the last like decade and a half.
I still think the absolute best skits though are the ones where it's where that Kenan Thompson produces a Broadway show and it's like a meme off of Broadway, and it's Pete Davidson is like, oh yeah, I'll get the sushi roll in LaGuardia, and they go, you're not gonna get the airport sushi. Or was like the show, was it at the iHeart New York? So I was like, oh, I'm gonna get the underwear, like those things. Oh my god, you mean the airport sushi next to the 4-week-old turkey sandwich? The best is that one specifically. When I forget who it is, but she's been there for a while, and she does a spinoff of Annie's Tomorrow. And it's all about how it's de Blasio's fault that
yeah.
The cops hate de Blasio. That was freaking great. Anyways, I want to start off the show giving a shout out to Spencer Levin, who first of all sounds like a creative player in like a 2K game. That's like your best friend when you play. Turned pro in 2005. He's 38 years old. He went to the University of New Mexico. And he has played for his career, what is this? For his career, he has played in a grand total of over 400 events for his career. Sorry, 244 total on the PGA Tour, upwards of 400 if you also include the Korn Ferry Tour. He has 2 wins in his entire career. He's made $8.9 million in the last decade and a half. He Monday qualified into the Veritex Bank Championship this weekend in Arlington, Texas, and he won on a Monday qualifier. It's the first one in like 25 years to Monday qualify and win. What would you do if you? I mean, now look, granted, you and I don't have the skill to Monday qualify 5-5 for tournament, but if you did, let's just say you Monday qualified for whatever, even like back in your heyday, like a big time like swim tournament that maybe you didn't qualify for, that had like open rostering for it. What would you do? First instance, putt drops, you hit the line in your swim meet. What would you do? First thing you do?
Man, that's a good question.
Because Spencer Levin didn't do this, but he said in the post-match presser, he's like, first thing I wanted to do was jump into the lake and be like, I did it, baby.
Should have done that.
I mean, hey, look, dude, bro, 2 professional wins and you're 38 years old. Also impressive to have only 2 career wins and I've made $8 million. It's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, that's what stood out. Like, my brain was still like wrapping around the fact that in a decade and a half, he's made $8.9 million with only 2 professional wins.
Well, I mean, let's do some fun maths quick, just because I'm genuinely curious. If he has made in his career a grand total of $8,236,107, you divide that by a year. Now, divide that by 15 years. It's about $10,500 a year, which, like, obviously isn't great at all. Assuming that you have a decent finance job in the back pocket or some sort of a sponsor. It looks like here he's sponsored by the Young Adjustment Company. So I don't know what the hell that is, but he's doing something. He's getting it done right.
Hey, I wish I had that money.
I mean, 8 point something million over 15 years is really not anything to be like, oh my god, wow, that's like crazy. Think like Jon
More than
Rahm.
I have.
Jon Rahm this year, I think, has made about $400 per golf shot.
Wish I had that too.
If you were to divide his money down, it's like $400 a golf shot, $1,200 a birdie, which is like kind of ridiculous too. It's like Matt Fitzpatrick, right? Won this week at Harbortown. I think he won like $3.8 million. He hit one. He flushed a 7-iron to about 4.5 feet to beat Jordan Spieth. That was a $1.8 million shot, which is like kind of staggering when you like. I hate the narrative of like, oh, like this is a $400,000 putt, but like fact of the matter is like that's a onions kind of shot on the line. 1.8 million there. Hit it to 4.5 feet, tap in for birdie, win the event. Kind of sick.
Hey, Matt Fitzpatrick, do you want to invest in our company?
Matt Fitzpatrick. Tried to make a him joke and I couldn't do it. I was going to say Matt Fitzpatrick.
Matt Hims Patrick.
Shit. I'm not a wordsmith like you, clearly. Hello, folks. Welcome into the Getting the Hole podcast. Stephen McAvoy, Kyle Bennett sitting in once again for Jakey Dips. He's back in the courtroom for yet another week of trial. Don't worry. He is not the one on trial. He is the one doing the prosecuting. So we'll see how he does this week. But, Kyle, we are here on another fantastic week of PGA Tour action. Jordan Spieth comes up just a little bit short for like the 5th time in a row. We're going to talk walk-up songs. What else is better than walk-up songs? And the Zurich Classic this week plays host to the PGA Tour in a team-style event, and the pairing of Max Homa and Colin Morikawa, who they're already calling Homakawa, which is actually a pretty cool name. It sounds like a Japanese restaurant, should take absolute center stage. This show is brought to you by our good friends, the PHI Apparel Co., getting your best Philadelphia-based apparel every single day for every single event. Go check them out, phiapparel.co. Use code Underground, 10% off your next order. And, of course, our good friends, Wasted Wedge. Kyle, tell us all about them.
And also phiapparel.co. Get your official Getting the Whole podcast merch as well. Gear up. When you get your merch, tweet at us, tag us on Instagram. We want to see where you're rocking your merch from.
I literally I have to get away from this bottle that I have, and I need to get in the whole water bottle.
We gotta make that happen.
Make it happen.
The presenting sponsor of the Getting the Hole podcast, though, Wasted Wedge. Steve, a new age of golf has arrived. And if you're looking to be the talk and envy of your group and create memories with your friends and family, look no further than the lineup of Wasted Wedge products and merchandise. The Wasted Wedges are a blast to drink shots out of. We had one at our live tailgate podcast first weekend that the Phils were home, obviously, and it was the talk of the tailgate with people passing by, asking where we got it, what it was. For the people at home who may not be able to see it, just think your traditional shot ski, turn the ski into a golf wedge, and there's no hot glue needed. The cups are already on there. You use plastic shot glasses to keep things clean. Use your alcohol of choice. Bada bing, bada boom. You are in business. But the Wasted Wedge, they're a blast to drink shots out of on and off the course. And you guys can check them out at wastedwedge.com or find them at Wasted Wedge on Instagram and Facebook. I got to say, Steve, ever since they became the presenting sponsor of this show, all of my Instagram sponsored ads, it's Wasted Wedge. They have infiltrated the algorithm. They're doing their thing. Like I said, guys, remember the name Wasted Wedge, and it's wastedwedge.com, or follow them on Instagram and Facebook at Wasted Wedge. The best in the game.
Love to see it. I love to see it, honestly. But one of the better, more elaborate products in the golfing space. Everyone's got their caddy kits and their magnetic golf towels and whatever else you will. But nothing screams recreational golfer than a nice golf shot ski. Speaking of recreational golfers who at the very least looks like he's playing golf at a Muni every single week, Matt Fitzpatrick, aka at this point Matt Fitzmagic. Step aside, Ryan. We got a new man in town, except this one has braces. This one does not have a long beard like yours, Kyle, and he also has 2 major wins under his belt. First at the U.S. Open, and now finally gets back in the win column here at Harbour Town. A great week for Matt Fitzpatrick. He now goes into next week back into the top 10 golfers in the world. I believe he's 8th right now on the board, and he'll go into the Zurich playing alongside his brother Alex for a shot at the win at the Zurich. Kind of a badass move, if you ask me. He announced this midweek last week. His brother does no longer have a tour card. He's currently battling his way back into the ranks, but a win, crazy enough, would actually get his brother back on the PGA Tour. So kind of badass if it happens to work out. Really excited for Matt. I can't speak today. For Matt and Alex, could see the duo back at it again, but we'll have to wait a little bit to see what they're made of. They have a loaded field this week. Xander Schauffele, Patrick Cantlay coming back in. Probably the easiest bet that I made last year was betting Cantlay and Schauffele coming into this week. Both are playing really good golf. They were beating the field by 8 strokes if you combine them together. And I was like, this is a home run play. It was plus 1,100. To give you an idea at how everyone has realized that they're this good, they're plus 500 to win this week. So kind of crazy. Matt Fitzpatrick back in the win column here at Harbour Town. But really the story isn't necessarily Fitzy. It's the guy who finished behind him. Now, like I had said, flushed a 7-iron of about 4.5 feet, tapped in for birdie. You saw the video as well. Jordan Spieth on the hole prior, missing about a 9-foot putt, raised the putter in the air, thought he had it for the win, and it lipped.
One of us.
Honestly, I don't even think the average golfer does that. The average golfer would miss it by about at least an inch off. If you lip it, in my opinion, you read everything right. You did it good. You just didn't have the pace. That's all it is. I think in Jordan's case, obviously the PGA Tour is a little bit different. He had the pace down, but the cup just literally it moved almost on him. That should have gone down. I feel so bad for Jordan Spieth. In his last 5 events, his last 5 stroke play events, he's finished 4th, 19th, 3rd, 4th, and 2nd. The resurgence of speed is clearly here, but the results have not necessarily shown it. I talked to Ben Pirro about this a few weeks ago and how the mental of a player who is consistently getting these good looks in these top 20s and in Jordan's case, top 5s almost every single week. Now, it's good, but it's also kind of bad. I feel like your mental kind of starts to go because you're I'm so close, but I almost feel so far. And I think it's one thing we always talk about how Tony Finau finishes top 20 every week, but he isn't winning. But he's finishing top 20. It's a little bit different when you're finishing top 5, 4th, 3rd. You're right there. Him and Cameron Young, they finish every single week in the top 5, and they can never get that win. Also doesn't help that Jordan won here last year and tried to go back to back. Do you think possibly his mental is thrown off at all by the fact that he's been unable to get back to the winning column?
I don't think it's too drastic. I think you could make more of a case if it was all of this happening in like the second round and he's missing cuts or, he's finishing outside the top 20. Like he's right on the cusp. So I think if anything with the type of player Jordan Spieth is, I think it kind of like motivates him in a weird way to be like, I'm right there. Like I just got to dial it in a little bit more, on this part of my game. I need to focus a little bit more on my putting, on my approach, at the tee box, whatever it may be. I think for the type of player we have come to know Jordan Spieth to be, I think this is just adds fuel to his fire. And that's, I think, kind of why we're seeing like this resurgence of Jordan Spieth is like, he knows he's right on the cusp of walking away with a win at an event, and he's coming so close. And I think it's just fueling his fire to continue to, push along and hopefully get a win this year.
The one thing that I find staggering too is you look at these top 5 finishes, right? The Arnold Palmer lost by 2. The Valspar lost by 2. The Masters finished in 4th. I believe he came up short by about 5 strokes to Jon Rahm. But even then, Rahm was running away with the whole thing. He was technically, if you take Rahm out, lost by only 1 stroke. The fascinating part though is that, and it's almost become a meme now in the last month and a half, between him and his caddy Michael Greller, like Jordan tries to do things that like he plays hero ball too much, and it always bites him in the ass. I remember I'm watching the Masters, and he was in the pine straw, and he's like, "I'm going for the green," and Mike's like, "No, don't do this," and he goes, "I'm going to go for the green," and he's like, "I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna hand you like a 9-iron, just hit it over to the side and lay it up," and he goes, "I'm going to go for the green." And he lands it in the water on a course that has no water. Like, and then you see Greller takes the hat off and he's like, "Oh," because he's like deep down, like, "Look, we're here to win millions of dollars. Not only are you screwing yourself, but you're screwing me over." Mm-hmm. And like that's also the beauty of the caddy golfer relationship. But every single event, there's this one like clutch, or really not even clutch, unfortunate double bogey somewhere in the round that if you just go back and you're like, he could have made par. He could have 4 wins this year. Like Michael Greller at this point, I don't know how he doesn't just quit on the guy. He's like, God damn it. How can he always manage to screw it up? And it's always like late too. It's like third round, 4th round. It's always late in the tournament. So like that part to me is like, how do you not just get so frustrated with Jordan Spieth? It's I think he's going to be fine. And yeah, you're right. It's worse if you're really kind of down bad, like you were like Ricky Fowler style, actually even up to now, as of the last like 2 years, where it's just constantly battling to make the cut, trying to Monday qualify for tournaments. That stuff's tough. But at the same time, I can very well see a situation where you are finishing top 5 every single week, and it's like when's this gonna like ever get me over? And like your mental is just kind of thrown off. And God forbid you happen to go into next week, right? Or the next time he plays, and you're the 54-hole leader. Try going to bed with that and being like, I finished top 5 the last 6 weeks. Am I gonna finally get it here? And we always say there's nothing harder in the world than holding on to a 54-stroke lead at a golf tournament, in my opinion. You have to go to bed to it. You're waiting all day long. It's a 4 o'clock tee time. Like, what are you gonna do? So it's one of those things that I'm like, I understand where he's at, but I am a little worried for Jordan to see that he's been battling. He really has. And it's been years since he's been able to get back to that like Masters, constant and major winning pinnacle. It's kind of really only been a win or 2 per year, maybe. And I mean, it's a good sign, but until he gets that win and he can start to string a few together in a few weeks, then I'll start to really be like, hey, this is now the night's kind of over. We could very well see 4 more weeks of him finishing top 5. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. So Jon Rahm this week discussed the idea of a elevated event following the Masters. Now, we talked about this last week. Like, did the PGA Tour get it wrong having a elevated event the week following the Masters? They're going to have it again for the Travelers following the U.S. Open. Rahm, unlike Rory McIlroy, who chose to withdraw and obviously put himself with almost $3 million on the line for the PIP, came out and said that he committed to it. Obviously, he missed the cut, but he was like, I'm out there because the kids want to see a Masters winner. The fans want to see the best players in the world. why would I be that guy and be so selfish to not play? What's your take on Rahm's point? Do you think it almost hurt him to go out there and play really a half-hearted performance, missed the cut by a decent margin? What did you make of Rahm's comments? Would it have held more brevity if he actually did make the weekend and played a little bit harder than you would have hoped?
One, I think we need to put on a shirt. Jon Rahm loves the kids.
He does.
I think that needs to go or JR Heart Kids, like the I Heart New York shirt, because then it doubles for not only Jon Rahm but J.R. Smith, collegiate golfer extraordinaire.
Out of context, though, it's a very creepy shirt, though.
Fair. Maybe we just put the JR in a Spain flag or something.
Fine.
I don't have any problems with it. He won the Masters. It's one of those things that it's I don't think you can really knock the guy truly. He's coming off a big time win for his overall career and just for his season in general. I have no qualm with it. I think it's completely fine.
Yeah, no, I think the comments are totally there. It's worth it for him to say that. I mean, obviously, you're trying to show face and you're trying to be a inspiration as one of the best golfers in the world. But at the same time, though, I feel like it's first of all, I'm gonna reiterate again. I think the PGA Tour got it wrong having an event like this, especially for someone like Jon Rahm, who I don't do this for a living, but to say, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to say, in order to win a major, it takes a lot of onions and a lot of mental strain. So naturally, you want to take a week off. And yet he didn't. Obviously, didn't play his best golf. But at the same time, he is right. I mean, we're here to watch the best players in the world. You don't want to go and see an event that has a half-hearted field. Yes, it happens sometimes, but when you're also at an elevated event where players are guaranteed to be there, it's a bit of a different story. Again, we'll figure out the scheduling later on. I'll be curious to see whoever wins the U.S. Open. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Hopefully, Max Homa, if he will come out and play the Travelers. That's also a whole different story.
It's a weird similarity to the NBA, where you see it a lot on Twitter, where it's oh, I bought my kid these tickets for Christmas when the Golden State Warriors were coming to Cleveland for the one time this year, and then Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are on a load management type of game. It's one of those type of things where it's Jon Rahm doesn't want to be the load management type of person, so he's going to go out and play, even if he's not giving it his 100%. He's still going to go out there for people to watch him perform at any level.
But also, why hold him to that kind of a standard? I mean,
right.
Yes, I understand the elevated event style, but to take it as a back-to-back in the NBA or a back-to-back in the NHL, right? The New York Rangers aren't going to go out and play Igor Shesterkin back-to-back days. They're going to play Jaroslav Halak the second day or whichever is the weaker matchup, because they know that a goalie can't handle two back-to-back days. And when they do play that, they're usually gassed, and they usually have at least two or 3 days off. Which is also why the playoff format has changed in the NBA and in the NHL to give you a day off in between every single game. It isn't all about all about TV. The Knicks, for example, played Saturday. They're playing on Tuesday now. They're going to get a full 2-day slate off, which is crazy. Part of it is because of the TV rights, but they also want to be able to have the best players playing every single game if they can, avoid injuries and the like. So in that regard, I feel like we shouldn't be holding these golfers to such a high standard to be hey, you need to play back-to-back weeks. At a certain point too, and again, this goes to the overall scheduling. They've been doing this now for almost 9 weeks. I believe Jon Rahm's had maybe 2 weeks off in 9 weeks. This isn't baseball where you could play 8 straight days. The golf tournament is tiring. It's a lot of work, especially when you are a top player and you're playing for 4 straight days. It isn't like you can go out, miss the cut, have an extra 2 days off. It's not, you don't really have the luxury, and the golf schedule is just too overwhelming. But again, we're going to have a whole other issue when it goes from the U.S. Open to the Travelers, and you're traveling from Los Angeles to Connecticut, as opposed to this where it's Augusta to South Carolina. So it really wasn't anything too crazy. We're going to take a short break here. We come back. The Zurich Classic is going to be hosting the Big Easy this week. We have a lot of golfers, a lot of teams, a lot of new teams. We're going to talk some walk-up songs. We're going to give a little bit of prediction. We're going to talk bets. And, of course, oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Swing, home run. Bryson Stott last night. Huge home run for me. That was big. I get the stud. Kid's batted like 800. I love it. Welcome back in. Get in the hole. I'm sorry, Kyle. I totally cut you off.
I have a Bryson Stott fact for the people once we give a word from our good friends over at Tomahawk Shades. It's that time of year, ladies and gents. The sun is out. You got to be styling and profiling out on the course, at the clubhouse, wherever you may be. And even when you're watching the PGA Tour on your televisions, you got to protect your eyeballs. You only get one pair. And Tomahawk Shades is here for you. They're a small batch eyewear brand, quality product for an affordable price. Stevie McAvoy rocking them right now if you're watching on YouTube. They've got sunglasses. They've got the blue light plus glasses. They've got prescription lenses for all the people you might want to gear up now. They got the snow goggles. They're the best in the game. We're rocking Tomahawk Shades when we're out on the course all spring and summer long into the fall. When the sun is out, we've got the Tomahawk Shades on, and they are costing you a fraction of the big eyewear brands. They've been rocking with us since 2020. One of our long-running partners. Shout out to Tomahawk Shades, right in Steve's backyard on the island. You guys can go to tomahawkshades.com, use code USP for 25% off your order at tomahawkshades.com. They're already at an affordable price to begin with, and we're cutting it even more with our promo code, giving you 25% off at tomahawkshades.com. Shout out to the boys over at Tomahawk Shades. Steve, my Bryson Stott fact for you. He has tied a Phillies franchise record for most consecutive hits to start a season with 16. He's got a 16-game hitting streak to start the year. Do you know the player that he is tied with who set the franchise record back in 1950?
Played for the Phillies?
Played for the Phillies, and it is one of those classic baseball nickname names that you're like, where the hell did they get this from?
Well, first of all, the greatest nickname player is Tungsten Armo Doyle.
Well, I'm going to add one to your arsenal because Matt and I love talking about the old school nicknames of baseball players. So Bryson Stott is now in the company of one Willie Jones. Willie's nickname, though, he is Willie Puddinhead Jones.
Puddinhead?
Puddin, Puddin apostrophe. There is no G in that nickname. Willie Puddinhead Jones.
All right, so I'm curious. There's a lot of really good.
He was a pretty damn good player for his time too. Career 28.4 WAR.
There's a lot of really good player nicknames, and I'm trying to find. I want to find. Oh, here we go. Dennis Boyd was nicknamed Oil Can Boyd.
It's pretty good.
Don't know why. Oh, you know why? Because he was a pitcher, and he both drank a lot of beer before his games, and he was also reliable for innings on innings on innings, like a nice vehicle. I still think though the greatest nickname ever, and actually was coined by the Phillies announcing crew. Played a game against the Mets. This had to have been early 2000s. Game was delayed for 4.5 hours. It was a day game. First pitch was 5:10, and the starting pitcher for the Mets started the actual game. He warmed up the entire day, and he started the game. And usually, after 4.5 hours, it's all right, we're gonna have to go with a reliever because the pitcher's ready to can't do it. And it was Steve Traxel, and they named him the Human Rain Delay.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Also, for some reason, whenever he pitched, it rained, so it made total sense.
Should have played in Seattle.
Wow, sleepless in Seattle with Steve Traxel. That makes total sense.
Traxel in Seattle.
I gotta ask you, did you have a walk-up song or anything in high school when you were a swimmer?
So we had team walkout songs.
All right, what was it?
We had a couple different ones. one that I like distinctly remember. I just gotta look up the title of it because it's been a while, and he is quite controversial these
Was
days.
it R. Kelly?
No, it was one Mr. West.
Oh, wake up, Mr. West.
What?
All
was
falls
the
down.
song? No,
Jesus walks. That makes sense because it's water.
it's pretty good.
Jesus walk. What a great song, man.
I totally forget what the song was. But we did walk out to a Kanye West song.
Why?
My junior year, I want to say. And then we had like celebration songs after meets when we won. And my freshman year, it was Love Story by Taylor Swift. And my junior
Classic.
year, it was Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus.
Oh, so it was like bubblegum pop songs.
Sometimes. And then there was some other times that it got switched up. But those were like mainstays when we were winning.
So back in high school, football team, freshman year, our song we used to run out to was "We Ready," classic. Everyone knows it. Sophomore year was "Written in the Stars," which is a great song, super underrated. I didn't know until like last month that Teeny Tempa, the guy who wrote it, is actually British.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating enough. Junior year, we did something like very different. It was like they integrated the band more into like our games, so it's like we had like the fight song and whatnot. But it wasn't until intramural college softball slow pitch that I personally got a lot of really good walk-up songs. So it used to be "Brooklyn We Go Hard" by Jay-Z, particularly the verse where he talks about he was like, I jack, I rob, I sin. Oh shit, I'm Jackie Robinson.
I remember the song we walked out to. It was,
Except when I run base, I dodge the pen. Get it? Because the cops. Woo-hoo-hoo! And then me as like a white kid in like white kid intramural Connecticut was like, yeah, let's play this.
The song we walked out to, I think it was my junior year or my senior year, was "Amazing" featuring Young Jeezy.
Ooh, classic. I like that a lot.
It was pretty intimidating. Got the people going.
Other big walkout songs, naturally, "Return of the Mac" by Mac Morrison, makes sense. And then "Centerfold" by the Jay Gills Band, classic. That was Justin Turner's walkout song when he played for the Mets. I think it still is when it was for the Dodgers. Hopefully it is for the Sox when I go to Fenway next time, because it's a great song to walk out to.
I know you hate him, but "Cashmere" for Chase Utley is when I think walk-up song, that's immediate. Like, one person tied to a song is Chase Utley and "Cashmere."
Oh, I mean, Mo with Sandman, though.
That too.
And now, and I, as a Mets fan, I think I'm allowed to say this. How the Mets overplay Edwin Diaz with "Narco" is so annoying.
Thank you. I'm happy you say
it's so
this.
lame.
I'm so happy that somebody who is a Mets fan finally sees the light.
I think the production value of it is like the way that they do it on the broadcast and they like trail him. That's cool because it's very similar to what they used to do with Mo. But I was at opening day and like Howie Rose is like announcing the team. They're going through everybody, and I'm like, I turn to my friend Andrew. I go, they didn't announce Edwin Diaz. And he goes, oh, he's probably like out of the country or like rehabbing. And he goes, oh, and we forgot one more person. And they play the fucking song, and he comes out on crutches. And I go, they're like parading him around like an animal. Like, come on, do better. No, I was like, I am so turned off by this. It was literally him struggling to get up the stairs to like give a wave to the crowd on his crutches. And they're just playing the song, and they're like, Edwin Diaz. And I'm like, dude.
Terrible.
Like, it would have been so much easier because even for like Justin Verlander, who didn't have as significant an injury, but he was on the sideline and he was there. Like they announced his name like every other player. I think it's just so over the top ridiculous that they overplay it and it became and it's this whole big thing. And also, if you
It
remember,
died as soon as they. I know he was on tour then, but it died as soon as they brought Timmy Trumpet in August.
No, I was literally going to say, if you recall, the Mets were in first place in the East, and the second they bought him, and they had Mr. Met with the trumpet,
Done.
lost it. And then, of course, that they lost to Joe Musgrove's Vaseline Ear in the wild card, and I was there for.
Do you want a great walkout song that so far he hasn't used it, but last year down the stretch, Sir Anthony Dominguez? First of all, phenomenal athlete name.
It's a great name.
Coming out of the pen, Game of Thrones theme song played.
Noah Syndergaard used to walk out to that too. I don't think anything though will beat.
But for a guy named Sir Anthony Dominguez, like,
Yeah,
you hear the bam, 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 it's awesome.
Wait, Yoenis Cespedes. I remember going to his debut with the Mets when they acquired him in 2015, and the buzz was Yoenis Cespedes for like 2 weeks did not come out to a walkout song when he played for what was it, Detroit at the time, or was it Oakland or the Red Sox? I forget who it was.
Either Red Sox or Detroit.
Yeah, it was one of the two. So it's just like he didn't come out. So everyone's like, what's he gonna come out to? He came out to the intro song for The Lion King. And I was like, this is so sick. You know
who else has a great walkout song?
And it's like he like rises from the ashes.
It's so good.
In this neon green sleeve. And it's like, now batting, Yoenis.
Felix Bautista, the Orioles closer.
Yeah.
They do a whole like light show thing, and when he's running out of the pen, the whistle from The Wire plays.
That's sick.
That's just awesome. You're in Baltimore too, like, job well done.
Now, golf fans, you might be wondering why the hell have we been talking about walk-up songs for the last 15 minutes? Well, it is the Zurich Classic this week down in New Orleans. Team style event, one of the very few fun little kinks to the PGA Tour schedule. We had the match play a few weeks ago. Yeah, that's right. We're getting kinky. One of the cool things though about this event is that every single team of 2 players comes out to a walkout song. They make it a little fun. Last year's champions, Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele, came out to House of the Rising Sun by the Animals. Classic, really intimidating. They win every year, which makes sense. Another team, actually the only other team that's been reformed from last year, Sam Burns and Billy Horschel, that came out to Louisiana Saturday night last year, and 2 years ago was Miss Jackson by Outkast. That was really good. Max Homa and Taylor Gooch last year came out to Devastated by Joey Badass, and there was a few other like really good ones. Unfortunately, Victor Hovland and Colin Morikawa didn't come out to a heavy metal song. I think Colin was like, we're not really vibing with this. But in honor of the Zurich Classic, we're going to start off predicting the walkout songs based on the pairings. Now, I have the list here. Here's some pretty fun ones. I want to get your take based on these guys. And as a non-big time follower of golf, I'll also explain them a little bit to give you an idea of who they are. But we start off with the team we had mentioned earlier, Matt and Alex Fitzpatrick, the 2 young Brits taking on this year's field. If you had to give them a song, what would it be?
The one song that was like super popular during the Pandy Wandy that kept going across social media with all the guys in the pub. And it was like, this is going to be everybody when the bars open back up.
Yes.
I'm gonna stand with you on a mountain.
Oh, yeah.
I'm giving them that one.
That's a great song.
It's so good. Like, anytime I hear that, I like want to run through a wall.
There's actually a Cascada Club remix. That's a bomb.
It's so good. Like, I get chill. I tweeted that during the World Series, and the Phillies interacted with it. They were like, let's go.
I'm going to go really simple. I'm going to say Under Pressure by Queen. That was the song last year of Shane Lowry and Ian Poulter. Ian Poulter obviously now is in LIV, so he's not participating. And Shane Lowry is taking a much-needed week off after back-to-back weeks of some hardcore golf. New team, as we had mentioned. Homa Kawa, Max Homa, Colin. Colin leaves Victor Hovland for this year, and Homa leaves Taylor Gooch. What is Homa Kawa going to come out to?
This is one that should be the case, and I hope it is. Tupac Shakur's California Love.
Yeah, I think it's going to be that, or I'm actually going to give you the other greatest rapper of all time, the Notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls, Going Back to Cali. I'm going back to Cali.
So my justification for California Love,
it makes sense.
That you can remix it to Morikawa Love.
I mean, it makes total sense that they both are from California, so naturally, why not do it?
Yep.
Colin, of course, both of them went to Cal Berkeley, right? Yeah, they both did. So it makes sense to do California Love. Really easy. This one should be a home run. Siwoo and Tom Kim. I would personally say the Thomas the Tank Engine theme, but I don't think Siwoo would be all in on that. It makes sense to just come out to Kim Possible, right?
That's a good one. I was also gonna say The Jump Off by Lil' Kim.
Oh, all right, there you go.
Just full circle.
Yeah, full
Kim cubed.
A lot of Kim cubed. I mean, no, they wouldn't come out to the Kim Possible theme song. They come out to the one. There was the one song they had specifically for Rufus the Naked Mole Rat.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That would be it. That would actually be incredible. Sanjay Im and Keith Mitchell. A little bit of a different pairing. A down boy Southerner and a Korean national. What do we think?
Just based off of their names, I'm gonna go with the hit classic by Big Scar, I'm Him.
I like that actually. That's interesting. I think because of the fact that Sanjay M is the better player here, but also Keith Mitchell hits it a country mile. I'm gonna go with the K-pop group, our good friends, the Bulletproof Boy Scouts.
Such a good name.
Dynamite.
I like it.
Makes sense. K-pop, Sanjay M, hit it far, Dynamite. I think it works. Kurt Kitayama and Taylor Montgomery. So Kurt Kitayama left one of my favorite golfers ever, Kiradech Affy Barnrat, who, of course, the player sponsored. His namesake sponsor is Juul, which is just nasty. Kurt Kitayama, who won the Arnold Palmer and possible Rookie of the Year candidate, Taylor Montgomery. What do you think?
Being that you said his name sponsor is Juul, I'm going to go with 2016's hit from Run the Jewels 3, Legend Has It.
Well, that was his old playing partner, was sponsored by Juul.
Gotcha. I thought you said it was him.
No,
I redact that statement. I am going to actually go with, just based off of looking at their names, especially the Montgomery portion of it, I am going to go with Tequila by Dan and Shay.
It's a very somber song.
I know.
That's like too much. No, I'm going to go... So despite the fact that Kurt Kitayama is a very Asian name, he is American. So I believe they're also both from the South. I'm going to kind of spin the countryside a little bit too. But I'm going to go with a Chris Stapleton song. I'm going to go "Traveler" by Chris Stapleton. I think it's or even "Midnight Train to Memphis" too. Is a bit more of an upbeat song. Both are a bit more lively of candidates, and I think also kind of fits the mood. One of my favorite teams that I'm going to most certainly be betting on this week, two rookies, technically, that I think can blow half the field out of the water: Sahith Theegala and Justin Suh.
Let's see. I mean, it fits. I gotta go with Moneybagg Yo, Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. Oh. I would suggest something really funny, like a Bollywood song, but
That'd be fire. The
I-
one song from the RRR movie.
yes,
That'd be sick.
yes, that'd be great. No, but I think the song that I'll go with is "Battle Without Honor or Humanity" for these two. I think it just kind of makes sense. I don't know why. I think they'll have a damn good time. One of the older groups, probably the oldest group if you combine age, John Daly and David Duval. And if it isn't something by I don't know, actually I know exactly what I'm going to pick. I'm never going to say it.
I want to hear what you're gonna pick.
Chattahoochee by Alan Jackson. The most out of pocket ridiculous song. That or like She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy. I don't know. John Daly screams just hookers and booze. So
I'm gonna go funny on this one. I'm gonna go with "Only Want to Be with You" by Hootie and the Blowfish.
could make sense. John Daly is just such a polarizing figure. Like at this point, play the Ronald McDonald's theme song. Joel Damon and Denny McCarthy. This is a new one. This is an interesting one. I was surprised that Harry Higgs is not playing with Joel Damon, but interesting pairing. What do you think?
Joel Damon, Denny McCarthy. I am gonna go with.
I gotta think long and hard about this one.
Joel Damon, Denny McCarthy.
They're both very different people.
Yeah, this is why it's difficult.
Like Joel's from Washington. He went to the University of Washington. Denny's from middle of Maryland. Went to UVA. Don't really mesh at all. Their play styles are very different. I have no idea on this one.
They're new. The Washington thing spoke to me. Give me "Smells Like Teen Spirit" by Nirvana.
Okay. This is a fun one. So let's think a little bit. So apparently they played together at the 2018 Zurich Classic. Now I'm curious what their walkout song was for that. So let's see, 2018 Zurich Classic walkout songs. This could be it. We'll say, yeah. So this was first of all, some of these songs are hilarious. Back then, it was Will McGirt, who actually knows our good friend of the pod, Brittany Wilbur. And Sam Burns came out to Calling Baton Rouge, which is a great song. We're seeing some old songs. You're Down Under by Men at Work, Shipping Up to Boston. But I can't seem to find. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Let's see. Where's Joel Damon? I feel like he totally came out to a rap song, I feel. Is he really not going to be listed on this list? All right, so for some reason, I just cannot find him on here, which is kind of a shame. But based on what I am seeing, I feel like both of them are definitely 80s rock fans. So I am going to go with either Jump by Van Halen or Here I Go Again by Whitesnake. That song makes complete and absolute sense. This one's easy. Wesley Bryan and Grayson Murray. It's God Bless America. Or the Star Spangled Banner, because they're hardcore Republicans.
It's either that or it's whatchamacallit? The Cowboy by Kid Rock.
Yeah. Hardcore Republicans. It'll be something about like our country.
They're just gonna walk up to the national anthem.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like it's that. The Kid Rock song they used to play for all of the playoff series in baseball years ago, like, Born Free.
Oh yeah,
Or there's a bunch. There's a bunch you could do here.
they're gonna do that, and they're gonna like put a Bud Light can on a tee or something because they're fucking losers.
No, I like Wesley Bryan. I don't like Grayson Murray.
He doesn't like us either.
Yeah, he's a bitch. You know what? Actually, like to be serious and to be funny, I've been seeing a lot on my timeline, a lot of memes about Donald Trump, all to the background of the YMCA and him just going like that. So I'm gonna go YMCA by the Village People. I think that one works great. Final group here: Zach Johnson and Steve Stricker. Now, bit of connection here, which might actually help your voting here. Steve Stricker was last year's Ryder Cup captain, or sorry, 2 years ago. He was the Ryder Cup coach. This year, it's Zach Johnson. So might also have a bit of a USA motif.
Party in the USA, Miley Cyrus.
I was going to say literally the exact same thing.
Look at us. Who would have thought?
Although I still do think that Cantlay and Schauffele's House of the Rising Sun is just so intimidating. And it reminds me of Vietnam, which I think makes total sense for the
Good morning, Vietnam.
Rest in peace, Robin Williams. No. Whenever I hear that song, I think of Full Metal Jacket, and I think of the opening 40 minutes where it's the drill sergeant just absolutely berating everybody, and I think it's absolutely hilarious. So going into this week, as we transition over, because segues are weird. Whom's is hot, whom's is not. Haven't taught this topic in a long time. Are there any guys that we've seen over the last couple of weeks that are super hot going into this event? Obviously, Matt Fitzpatrick makes sense. Had the win last week. Colin and Homa have been hot, but is there anybody who stands out to you that might make a pretty solid push this week at the Zurich thanks to their recent performances?
Let's see.
I come from a land down under. It's another great song.
I mean, kind of just on like we talked preseason, like Max Homa, like we figured this was going to be a big year for him, so it's tough not to say that Max, in an individual sense of the pairing there, will not play really well. Intrigued by Akshay to see how just he keeps pushing along. So that'll be fun to watch him play. I don't know. It's going to be. It is such a different type of event too that like it's kind of tough to gauge truly how guys are going to perform, since it is a little different than your traditional, event and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But those two, I think, are my guys that I'm definitely keeping an eye on.
So I'm highly fanning on two groups in particular, but three players. First of all, Denny McCarthy has been on an absolute tear, and I've been making the joke for months that he can't do anything except for putt. Yet he's been finishing top 25 at a more reliable clip this year than he has in his entire career. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 top 25 performances. He has 3 in the last 5 weeks. Also coming at really hard events: the Genesis, the Players, the Valspar, and the RBC Heritage. So he's been getting some pretty good exposure. I think with Joel Damon is going to be really good. I'm fixated on this Theegala duo. Sahith Theegala has gone back-to-back weeks in the top 10, finished 9th at the Masters, 5th at the RBC Heritage, 14th at the Arnold Palmer, 6th at the Genesis, 4th at the Farmers, 2nd at the RSM. Like, his year has been incredible so far. He's most certainly Rookie of the Year candy. Justin Suh, again, I've been betting him nonstop. Finished 6th at the Players, 5th at the Honda. Didn't have the greatest back-to-back weeks. 45th at the Valspar, and barely cracked the cut at the RBC Heritage. Didn't help that his final 2 rounds were 74 and 78 to go 6 over. Not a very good look for him, but at the same time, still a really good performer overall. I think those two are going to play really well. And then back to McCarthy again. Because of the way this event kind of works out, it's a 4-ball best ball. So thinking about it, if Joel Damon can get it even a little bit close, even if McCarthy just absolutely blows away his shots, they're going to be making pars no matter what. And they'll have plenty of looks at birdie. I mean, Denny McCarthy is one of the best putters in the world from outside 20 feet. So if you can lag putt as well as Denny can, I think there's no way I can't see them playing really well. Sanjay and Keith Mitchell kind of stand out to me because, again, Sanjay's really good with the putter. Keith hits it a country mile. Kind of makes sense. But those are really kind of the groups that I'm in with that have been playing really well, could really go hard. Someone who has not been playing particularly well ever since his tear early on in the year, Taylor Montgomery's been leaving a lot to be desired. He's been consistently around the top 40, but for somebody who I thought was going to literally be the rookie of the year, it's kind of stood me up like a first date. It hasn't really been the eye opener that I've been looking for. Someone that I'm looking out for to possibly kind of blow things off. Because Kitayama has also, ever since his win at the Arnold Palmer, has not shown me a lot more than what I expect from somebody who's been consistently a borderline top 75 player in the world. So those are guys I'm looking out for. Final guy though, realistically, and if anybody's going to battle Pat and Xander for a spot, it's going to be Horschel and Burns. It's going to be Morikawa and Homa. All four of them have been playing lights out as of late, and Collins finally got the putter back. Homa's been on a tear. I think that's a pair to really look out for. Prop bet time brought to you by Wasted Wedge. We're not going to waste any time. Wow, that's making a really bad joke. We're not going to waste any more time telling you about how good they already are. You already know how good they are. Go and check them out.
Make sure you follow them. Follow them. Instagram, Facebook at Wasted Wedge, and change the way that you're going to be drinking on and off the course with Wasted Wedge.
So I want to segue into you quick. Is there any prop bets that you're eyeing particularly this week at Zurich? Pretty interesting market too. A lot of different things going on this week, of course, as a different sort of event goes. So what do you think?
Let's see.
I come from a land down under.
Let's see here. So I mean, I think the fun thing that I'm going to pay attention to this week is just how the rookies play, and just see how they kind of compete in a different format essentially, than your traditional, overall event that you would have on the PGA Tour. Other than that, there's not too much that stands out to me. What do you have?
So I got a few that I like. I'm going to start off with a matchup play. I'm seeing here it's about even money both ways. But because of the fact that I can't really get good value on Cantlay and Schauffele to win outright, I'm getting pretty solid value overall in a matchup between them and Horschel and Burns. So it goes round by round, which is nice. So I'm going to take Cantlay and Schauffele for all 4 rounds to beat Horschel and Burns. That's going to give me about plus 600 value, as opposed to what's currently on a lot of books at around plus 400. I'm also really liking this. So there's, again, going to our rookie talk. I like Thagala and Suh to outplay Siwoo and Tom. I think it's going to be a pretty even matchup, but overall, Tom Kim has not been incredible over the last 4 weeks. He's been really good, but not what he was back in October, November. So I will take the Gala and Suh over each of them. There's also an individual matchup, and this is really where I'm getting very interested. I'm gonna take a total out of left field play. John Daly's individual performance better than Grayson Murray.
Like it.
50-year-old man is going to hit a country mile, will be playing best ball, lays it up. I think he's going to play better than Murray, particularly if he happens to find himself in a bit of a hole at any juncture during this tournament. So that's what I'll go with. You want to take a short break?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. One more break on the other side. Beer Money Picks, folks. Don't go anywhere. It's time for some beer money brought to you by our friends over at Kenwood Beer, Philadelphia's top light lager. Be sure to check them out. Get on the Kenny tracker. Find your beer in the Philadelphia area. They're expanding rapidly. And, of course, chow down on some nice ice-cold Kennys at the Wells Fargo Center to watch the Philadelphia 76ers battle their way to, hopefully, a Eastern Conference final where they will lose, ultimately, to the New York Knickerbockers.
Never that. You can also find Kenwood at your local Philadelphia area liquor store, or if you're in Eastern Pennsylvania, your local Whole Foods. But like Steve said, kenwoodbeer.com. Use that Kenny tracker. It's 4.1% ABV, 127 calories, 10 grams of carbs, light body, light calories, plenty of flavor. The best light beer on the planet. Got to be 21 or older to do so. And of course, guys, please drink responsibly.
I think, first of all, Whole Foods, now that you bring it up, sells $4 wine, and it's actually amazing. Just like to give you an idea. So we'll start off here. Make and miss the cut. What teams are going to make and miss to give you an idea of how it works this week, of course, in the team format. Following the second round, there will be a cut to the low 33 teams and ties at the positions. So have about 60 or so teams in the field. About half the field will make it. Who is making and who's missing the cut this week?
Let's see. Who is making it? I'm going to say Sa and Tigala make the cut.
Well, that was easy.
And missing the cut. I'm going to go with just out of spite, Grayson Murray's duo.
So I'm going to give the folks some value here. I have a little parlay, make/miss, at plus 340. To make, I'm going to take the Canadians, Nick Taylor and Adam Hadwin. And to miss, I'm going to take the Southern boys, Brandon Todd and Patton Kazire. Neither Todd or Patton have been playing all that well. Nick Taylor, for some reason, finds himself in the top 10 like every other week that he plays, which is like weird considering it really isn't that great in terms of the rest of the field that he's playing against. But him and Hadwin, I think, will play really well. Plus 340 for the pair to make and miss the cut. Top 20 play. Where are you going?
Top 20. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go Trey Mullinax and Stallings.
Ooh, the real Scott Stallings, not the other one who was invited to the Masters. Yes. I will take Joel Damon and Denny McCarthy. I think they could finish even higher, but I think a little bit of slip up from, I believe, probably Damon's side. Ever since Full Swing, I just know he doesn't have confidence. So I know if he falls a little bit, I know I can pull it on him. So I'll take Damon and McCarthy for top 20 at plus 150. Who do you have for top 10?
Top 10. Give me. Give me Bermuda Burns and Horschel at top 10.
Top 10. I'm like up in the air whether or not I want to do this. I mean, it'll work, but they can also finish way higher. You know what? I'll be conservative. I'll take Thigala and Sa. They're only plus 200. Conservative play. I still think though that they're not going to be as good as the other guys I'll have. I could take them possibly as a gimme for a top 10 too. I think it's just an easy play. Might double down on that, but we'll say. But for top 10, I think that's a solid play. Top 5.
Top 5. Give me Kim Cubed.
Kimmy Cubed. I'll take Homa. I'm going to take Homakawa. The California love. They've already bought matching Dodgers jerseys apparently. Like, it's a bromance, and I honestly I really do love it and I appreciate it. So I'll take them for top 5. They're plus 400, which is pretty good value. I like that. Who's your gimme?
Gimme. I'm gonna say that. Let's see. Where did he go? Akshay finishes with the best weekend of the rookies.
Okay, I dig it. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to double down. I'm going to take again Thigala and Suh for top 10. I think it's easy money. They're plus. It's a home run in a weak field. You got to realize like last year when this tournament happened, it was Scotty Scheffler. They had elite players in the field. If you look back at last year's announcement, it was they had where am I? Nope. They had Scotty Scheffler in the field. They had Victor Hovland in the field. They obviously had the live guys that were playing well. Dustin Johnson was in the field. Now it really isn't that. When you get past the top 5 teams, it's like Ryan Brehm and Mark Hubbard. Like where are you going there? I mean, Hubbs had a top 20 finish this past week, but at the end of the day, I think Thigala and Suh is just an easy play, and I will absolutely take them. Who's winning this week at Zurich?
Give me Homa and Morikawa.
Yeah, I hate taking chalk, and I hate the fact that it's like plus 400 like everywhere. But I ran the stat last year. They were outscoring opponents in terms of combined strokes gained tee to green and strokes gained putting by a combined 18 strokes. That number is even higher this year. It's like plus 21. So I will take at chalk, Cantlay and Schauffele, plus 400. And I hope to God they are down after the first round so I can bet them live for a better line. I feel like it's going to happen. And I guarantee you right now, if they are down, I will, in fact, be doubling down and taking it at a better line. So that's where I'm going. Final thoughts for you at the road.
Final thoughts. We just want you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go subscribe. We are trying to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the month. We are at 437. It really does help the entire network as a whole grow and gets more eyeballs on all of our shows in video form if you subscribe to the YouTube channel. So go subscribe, youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia.
Real quick, because first pitch is around the corner. Brett Beatty, third baseman of the future, first start today of the year. He's the future of this franchise at third base. Taking over some pretty big shoes for David Wright, but I think it's going to be most certainly worth it. It's been 2 weeks too late almost for the Mets to call him up. So Brett Beatty tonight, shout out to him. Hopefully he performs well. That's going to do it all for us here. Kyle Bennett once again sitting in for Jakey Dips this past week. By the way, Jake told us that his walkout song back in college was Desperado.
Best Rihanna song.
As a reliever, that's badass.
Best Rihanna song ever.
Best recent Rihanna song ever. I think S&M is a really good song.
It's good. Desperado still hit. When she hits
Shut Up and Drive also slaps.
When she hits that first Desperado, sitting in the whole Monte Carlo, good night.
Song got ruined though by TikTok, I feel.
Screw the TikTokers.
It's the future, man. Don't tell Olivia done that. She'll get mad at you.
It's not.
That's going to do it all for us here, folks. Kyle Bennett, Steve McAvoy. Enjoy the Zurich Classic. We'll see you back here next week. A loaded schedule on the PGA Tour. We'll be back next week for another epic show at a tournament that I still don't know. Thanks for listening to Get in the Hole, the official golf podcast of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Catch us every week wherever you get your favorite podcasts, and be sure to like and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at GetInTheHolePod, and follow Underground Sports Philadelphia at UndergroundPHI. We'll see you next time. And remember, get in the hole!